Hey everyone! I guess on here I'm going to be called Zendrick. This is a new channel I'm starting. I've done two streams on here, but it's going to be primarily a what if channel, and not too sure what to say here. I'm doing one of the series I've been reading so far. It's one of my favorites. Oh, sorry about that. Someone is at my door, but like I was saying, this is my first time doing this, and this is one of my favorite shows. As you can probably tell from the image on the screen, this is what if Ben 10 was in My Hero Academia, technically, or more officially, what if Midoriya was the wielder of the Omnitrix? Now, the story, it takes inspiration from it, but it's a bit different. It'll have all the classic Ben 10 characters in that all the old classic OG fans grew up with, as well as some of the My Hero Academia villains, obviously. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's my first time doing this. Let me just get started. The first chapter is called "Welcome to Earth, Friend 10,000." So it starts off saying, it starts off with the night sky was beautiful over the city of Hosu tonight. Give me a second so I can practice. Okay, I think I got this. So sorry if I mess up a bit. It's just I'm not very good at this. And before I do mention, I do have permission. If you get, I will probably figure out something to show you guys that have proof and approval. Maybe the one that gave me approval, could technically um, comment down here saying that he approves of it, so I can get approval officially for you guys to see. Let me start this up. Okay, sorry for that. um, okay, so story starts off like this: the night sky was beautiful over the city of Hosu. The city was bustling with life as its citizens were either going home or going out with their companions. Heroes patrolling the blocks and villages, occasionally. Okay. Heroes patrolling the blocks for villains, occasionally greeting the citizens, taking pictures of them. It was, it was as if it was all was right in the world. People were on their phones watching footage of the most recent villain attack, though, and admiring their heroes in action. The most common talk of the night was that of Kamui Woods, Mount Lady, and of course number one hero, All Might, as we all know that he's the most popular hero in all of Japan at the moment, and the world. Now, I will not be doing voice impressions. That is something I will not be doing, so you'll be hearing me talk like a normal self. Hey, look at this. I already messed up. Hey, look at this. Someone exclaimed, holding out their phone to their best friend, who looked in curiosity. Dr. Annabelle was caught just trying to rob a bank a few miles from here. And, 1 second. That guy is super gross. His quirk is to mutate animals and change them into monsters, isn't it? The friend asked. Obviously. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh my. This is going to be an annoying video. Um, if I were here, I wouldn't go anywhere near him. Not even if I had a 6 foot pole to beat him with. Just thinking about it, even having to cuff him gives me the hives. Who stopped him? I'm pretty sure that was the same friend. I know these are all girls. I don't know why I keep saying friend, but they're saying friend. But these are all girls. I'm pretty sure that's the same girl that was calling him gross. Not too sure. Um, who stopped him? Who stopped him this time? The third friend asks, causing one of the friends to say it was All Might, which seemed like the only hero that was being reported on the news nowadays, which caused one of the other friends to obviously say, "What do you expect? He's obviously the number one hero in the world." I don't. They obviously don't think Annabelle was worth All Might's time, because he got caught by Endeavor a few months ago, and Endeavor's just number two hero. Yeah, but then then one of the other friends mentioned how that was only because Endeavor was burning his animals and he was crying about it. crying out, "My pets! Oh, my precious creations!" And then they went on to say, "Can you even call that animals if you stare long enough? They look like aliens, don't they?" Come on. There's no way aliens exist. Have you watched too much Star Wars again? I guess that's foreshadowing, obviously. Um, the then the three girls laugh at the comment to continue walking towards the train station. What they don't realize, though, is that aliens truly do exist, that they're not alone in the universe. The proof that some may ask for is such a claim. The proof that some may ask for is such a claim? No. No. Uh, the proof that some. There. What is the proof that some may ask for to prove such a claim? Simply look into the sky of Hosu City. There, there you might be able to see a red creature that had just entered Earth's atmosphere and flew in over the ocean, creating a small splitting double wave as it did. As soon as it stops, hovers over the glowing city. Enter, and this is obviously Ren from um, the one of the OCs in this book, Ren, or knows Ren 10,000 based off the title. He enters and just says, "So, this is Earth, Sensei's homeworld, and the world of the human race." Strange creature said to herself as it observed the city, commenting on how it's a lot brighter than he thought it would be. But so far, nothing impressive to him. The tech that he sees is, when compared to the rest of the galaxies, honestly almost laughable. Considering they had, considering they haven't gone extinct yet, he thinks that they must be doing something right. But he only supposes. So he decides he'll go down and take a look. Let's see. I was, I I'll look for an image to show you guys later on, because but I also oh before I go any farther, I'm sorry. I should have said at the beginning. I'll also leave a link down to the book below if you guys want to read it and not hear my horrible like me commenting half the time and messing up the words half the time. So, okay, back to the story. I'm sorry, but when the creature then flew down and landed in the beach pile of trash, and then a bright green flash lights up the area momentarily as it died down, revealing a young adult in black and green, uh, basically the same color scheme that Ben had, type of hoodie with. Instead, he looks exactly like Ben in this, except he has gray hair, black eyes, and then two scars on his face, one covering his eye and one on the side of his face. Now that the blend, now he goes on to saying that to himself. Now that the blending in part won't be a problem anymore, he turns to face the city, flipping his hood down, officially saying, "Time to see what Earth has in store for Ren 10,000." And then he runs up the stairs, immediately bumping into a skeleton man, which we all know as All Might. But since he was also wearing a plain T-shirt with the green jeans, they both fall down onto the back, which Red immediately gets up and offers his hand to help the old man up. Not old man, but the man up. "Sorry about that. I'm kind of new to the area." Why did I give him that type of accent? God, son of a. It's basically he apologizes and saying he's new to the area, which he says Ren said, which helps up. Then he helps up All Might. Okay, give me a second. Okay, back to this story. All Might, as we know, but as we know who it is, says it's all right to the young man. You shouldn't really be out this late, though. Don't you have school or college in the morning? He would try to lecture as he grabbed Ren's hand and stood. Ren then said, I really don't know what that is, but it's safe to assume that I don't. He would reply confusingly, which then caused All Might to be even a little bit confused, saying, "All right then, say, you wouldn't happen to know the time, would you? My phone died a couple of minutes ago, so I lost track of time. And then Ren obviously would say, "You're good. You're well, not obviously, but Ren would then say, your guess is as good as mine. I just got here a few minutes ago." And if as which caused All Might to be even more confused than he already was, making him think, "Just got here, but there's nowhere else to enter from," which he thought to himself. Then noting that Ren has a watch on his wrist, he says, "But don't you have a watch, don't you?" Which confuses Ren, making him say, "Huh?" As then All Might points through Ren's wrist. What was this about to say? Which points to Ren's wrist. I was like, "Oh, that it exactly doesn't tell time." Ren chuckles nervous. Or not chuckles. What the? I'm sorry. Ren replied nervously. He's like, which causes All Might to mention that it's ironic that a watch doesn't tell time. Which then Ren just says, he's like, "Tell me about it." Well, I'll be heading out now. See you, old timer. Which Ren did ran off, suddenly stopping in his tracks, turning to face the man again, saying he forgot something, which caused All Might to turn around. He says, "Your name? I never got your name." And then All Might, as he turned around, not turned, but he said, "You can just call me Toshinori," which is his real name, even though you guys never knew. And then, yeah, I never agree with this. Probably not gonna get very likes or any views, to be honest. But he then would yell, "Nice meeting you, Toshinori. I'm Ren. Catch you later." He says he began running after he said that. It's a little writing on here. After I rereading it, just having trouble speaking it. The official writing said it's Ren said after he began running afterward. I might be misreading that a bit, but I want to say after he said that he ran away. Not ran away, but ran in a direction. I'm not very good at this. Toshinori watches Ren take off with a bit of curiosity. Ren, huh? After a few minutes of confused walking, Ren finally made it to the center of Hosu, where it was full of life. Food stands were still open as people lined up to get a taste. Ren stared in awe at just how many people there were, and amazed and the amazing smells that surrounded him. Well, from up top, this place didn't seem like much, but now that I'm down and about, Ren suddenly hears a commotion from a ramen stand. There are three guys ganging up on the owner. One of them having him by the collar as he shouts, "Heard you snitched to the police about what happened the other day," one of the thugs yelled, which caused him to say, "No, no, the police and here just came by for questioning, and I just told them what I saw. That was it, I swear." The owner of the stand did yell, trying to defend himself as best as he could, and then, which only caused the second thug to get angered, saying, "Well, because of that flapping mouth of yours, one of our buddies ended up getting put in the slammer." And due to the anger, he would knock over one of the pots of broth, and causing the stand owner to say, "Please, please stop. I didn't do anything. Please, just don't destroy my stand." "Oh, don't worry. Once we're through with you, you won't be doing much of that anymore, or much of anything anymore." The first thug threatened while activating his quirk. His hand began to glow a bright yellow and red as he slammed down the counter. The moment he did, though, the counter caught on fire with it as his hand melted right through it. "Please, I beg of you." Why did I say it like that? "Please, I beg you." The owner yelled out in fear, which, of course, this didn't go unnoticed by Ren, which he calls out to them, causing the three to stop, turn around, and stop and look at Ren. Which Ren then says, "Leave him alone. Does it seriously take three muscleheads to threaten one person?" The first thug would let go of the owner, tossing him to the third one. saying, "Make sure he doesn't go nowhere. I'm about to teach this kid some manners." The first thug said as he would walk towards Ren, saying, "You really should keep that mouth of yours shut, kid. You don't want a piece of any of us." Which then, which then would cause Ren, I feel like, would cause him to smirk a bit and say, "Oh yeah, what if I do want a piece? You gonna cut me one?" As he looked up at the thug, basically, I feel like would be glaring at him in the eyes. There was a long stare between the two figures, while Ren was grinning the whole time. Well, I guess he wasn't smirking. Oh lord! But the civilians witnessing this would remain silent, while some would run off to the authorities, finally causing the thug to chuckle. "Look, kid, I'm a nice guy. Beating up on youngsters ain't really my forte. So how about this? You walk away, and pretend you never saw this, and I don't smash your goddamn teeth in. How's that for a piece of this?" The thug would ask. Ren takes a moment of silence. Then he finally answers, "You know what? On second thought, you're right. I don't want a piece. I want the whole damn pie." No, I gotta do better than that. 1 second. He would then just say he wants the whole damn pie. I'm not gonna try doing that. Nope. The thug looked at Ren, whose eyes were composed and brimming with confidence. That would anger the thug, I'm assuming, a little bit, because he would then swing his arm, which was glowing red and yellow. Ren would hold up his right arm, and about to slam down his watch, we looked at a wooden branch from behind, which extends it, wrapping past the thug. "That's enough of both of you," a man behind Ren said. "Wait, that's enough, both of you," Ren said. "I can't speak." "That's enough, both of you," a man from behind Ren says. "Have you no respect for the people around you?" Which this would obviously be Commonly Woods, one of the heroes of the society. And then someone would say, "It's Commonly Woods." No, that's someone. No, the thugs would say, "Oh shit, it's Commonly Woods." And then the third one was to, "Screw this, I'm out of here." As he tried to run with his comrade. Wait, yeah. Both of the thugs would however, run into the other hero, which we know him as Death Arms, which would cause them to even say that Death Arms is here. "In a rush, fellas? Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time soon where you're going." Death Arms and Conway Wood. Death Arms would look at Conway Woods. "All clear here." Before he could even finish, he noticed the first gloves. The what? The first thug glowing red. The bindings on on the thugs had begun to light on fire, which, as we know, would be the natural enemy of Conway, causing him to be able to burst out of it, and the bindings and charge at him. "I ain't going back to the slammer, you hear me?" the thug would yell. And then Ren, obviously being the hero, would say, "Shit, I have to do something," as he prepared to slam down his watch again. But just before he could do that, a powerful torrent of water strikes the thug, cooling him down and pushing him back. "How about we all just cool down, Huns?" Uh, the man in the fire jacket said, which I don't know his name. Oh, it's Backdraft. Cromer looked back behind him to see another hero, yelling at the guy's name, Backdraft. How is... I don't understand. Is this his actual face? Or is... I don't understand. Never understood this hero. He has a weird quirk. Um, Once the torrent of water stops, the thug's skin then begins to harden, rendering him immobile. Oh, so it must be like lava in a sense, or some type of material that when it gets too cold, it hardens up. Oh. He then would struggle against his newly created obsidian straitjacket, just basically yelling out in anger as he can't get free. Conway takes a breath and gives a thumbs up to Backdraft, saying, "Thanks, you really saved me there." Backdraft would rub his head, the back of his head, somewhat embarrassed. "Don't worry, we're fellow pros, right?" Death Arms would then just yell, "Don't worry, if you don't mind," as he held up the other two thugs. Conway would then use his quirk to bind them, look with Ren looking at the heroes in confusion, questioning to himself, are these guys heroes or something? Why are there three of them? Are they a team or something? Death Arms will then look at and Ren's direction, them eyes looking at each other, saying, I got half a mind to take you into custody as well, kid. Which would then obviously confuse Ren, asking, for what? What did I do? Death Arms then would approach him, who would barely would approach him yelling, which caused Ren to barely even flinch at all. He said, and then Death Arms would say, for them, from the looks of things, you're the one instigating the fight. What's worse, you're even about to start a physical fight in a public space. Okay, they were basically, even though the pro heroes could do that, no one else can. That seems fair. But do you have any idea what you were doing? People could have seriously been hurt, and which would cause Ren to get more defensive, saying, "Are you kidding me? I didn't even do anything. They were harassing this guy, and no one was around at the time. What's I supposed to do? Just sit back and let them wreck this guy's shop?" As he would yell back, trying to defend himself and just shed some light on the situation, which would cause the store owner to show up and just say that he's telling the truth and that they were wrecking his stand and harassing him because I gave an eyewitness statement against one of their friends a couple of days ago, saying had it not been for this young man here, my shop would have been damaged far greater, and I'm assuming he's probably thinking that he would have been more probably in the hospital or something. Death Arm looks at the owner with a shock on his face. Then he just with a look of shock on his face. Then he looks back at Ren. Even if they did try anything, I could have handled myself. Death Arms then grunts in frustration and leaves, basically giving up at that point, saying, "Don't do anything like that again. You hear me, brat?" Death Arms yelled at, which caused Ren to think, "What an ass!" And then the shop owner walked up to Ren, basically saying, "Thanks for the help," and Ren then faces him, saying, "Don't worry about it. Besides, those guys handle most of it, not me." Um, one second. And then the owner would then just try to instantly stop him from saying that it wasn't. It wasn't. This owner would then just basically say, "Nonsense. Had you not stalled for long enough for the pros to arrive, my shop will have been basically gone. So once again, thank you, young man, for the courage. Wait, thank you, young man, for your courage. Thank you." Then he would go on to basically shake Ren's hand, saying, "If there's any way to basically say, let me repay you of a bowl of my famous ramen." The owner then walks back to the stand and grabs another pot. Grabs, I'm guessing, one of the pots that haven't been knocked over, which Ren was confused about what ramen was to go to ramen was, which causes the shop owner to basically say it's a Japanese delicacy, telling him to sit down, it's on the house. Ren just simply shrugged and sat down on the counter, watched the man prepare a bowl of ramen. So, but, oh my god, I'm messing up horribly. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'll get better over time, but I'm nervous about this kind of stuff. Um, and I've also been a good out loud reader. Okay, but they would get back to this. Sorry, can't keep getting distracted. On the shop owner would then just say, "Unfortunately, they knocked over the last good pot of broth, so I'll have to reheat an old cold batch." Which would then Ren obviously would just say, "No worries, take your time." Ren watched the owner prepare the ingredients, and he thinks over what Death Arm said to him. From the looks of things, basically saying how, from the looks of things, he was instigating the fight, and he was about to start a physical fight in a public space, basically endangering the people around him. Ren then asked what to call the shop owner, which he would then reply, "Just call me Chef." Yeah, chef. He's like, oh, all right then, chef. He's like, what is it? And then he would ask a question that would leave the owner shocked, at least not shocked, but confused. He would ask him about those guys that were the three people that helped and ended the whole fight thing. He asked, were they heroes or something? And he would then look at Rand with a confused look and hoping it was a joke in poor taste. He's like, you're not joking, are you? They're the pro heroes Death Arms, Kamui, Woods, and Backdraft. They're actually pretty famous around this area, especially. Kamui Woods, especially. He's in the top 10 list of pro heroes in Japan. The owner begins to slice a piece of meat, egg, and squid. Yeah. And saying, okay, but as he explains, saying, I'm more surprised that you haven't heard of them before. It must be nice to have a quirk that make use that you can use to help people. And this word confused Ren, asking, "What are quirks?" And I guess, and then Chef would say, "You saw that, you saw how that Kamui Woods wrapped up those thugs and Backdraft cooled down that one guy, didn't you? That's their quirks. Some amazing ones, I'd say." Which then would help clear things up a bit, causing Ren to get the assumption, the idea that quirks are basically abilities, and like asking, like saying, if I can shoot blast from hands, that would be my quirk. And then Chef would be like, yeah, I suppose, but that's if you can shoot blast from your hands. So, and then which will cause Ren to ask another question about how that guy had a wood quirk and the one in the yellow jacket had a water quirk, which would then make Chef say more or less, causing Ren to go, huh, it looks like the humans managed to evolve to a point where they get special abilities, causing him to say, well, think to himself as well, that he doesn't remember his sensei ever mentioning that part about Earth. He says, I wonder. He would ask him, does everybody have a quirk? Causing Chef to say, not exactly, saying that basically saying that 80% of the population of the world has these quirks, but the other 20% only that don't are known as quirkless, and that can happen to anybody, despite both parents even having quirks. As Chef pours the broth into a bowl of noodles while carefully adding the eggs, meat, and squid. He would then continue saying that people that are quirkless have harder lives because these days being quirkless is more or less treated as a bad thing, basically being a death sentence, and those often looked down upon in society, treated as lesser beings, and saying how it's heartbreaking to witness. Ren, listening to what Chef was saying, letting it all sink in as he thinks over what he heard. As he reminisces about his childhood, an image crying in a corner in the mirror flashes his mind only for a split second, saying, well, thinking to himself, I guess no matter where you are in the universe, if you're different, you'll be treated like so. And then the chef would ask where he was from, and he would ask where he's from, and everyone would be wondering why he's wondering that, and Chef would then say, we were asking all these questions about pro heroes, quirks, almost if you've never seen someone with a quirk. And he was just like, I was just curious. So where I'm from, I just going off trailed off he would trail off then, thinking to himself that humans could never have abilities like that. Ren then looks up at Chef, who was putting on garments and ramen. And he would then ask Chef if he had a quirk, which caused the chef to pause for a minute, and he smiles, saying, "Quirkless or not, it doesn't matter to me in the slightest. I won't let something as small as that stop me from doing what makes me happy the most," which is obviously making ramen for everybody. But then he places the bowl of ramen in front of Ren, just saying, "Enjoy." And then Ren looks at the bowl of ramen, basically in amazement. He took one whiff of the aroma, basically being entranced by it, saying, "How do I?" Which then caused Chef to smile and grab a pair of disposable chopsticks for him. Said, "Break them apart." Ren does so and breaks the two chopsticks apart. He picks up a heaping strand of noodles, cools it down by blowing on it, and as he took his first bite of ramen, the flavors of broth and the softness of noodle could only trigger a single word for him. Him just saying, "Delicious." And that's the end of chapter 1. Sorry how it feels bad. Um, I I'm not the best, but if you guys, I'm only doing one chapter right now because I don't want to get too far into it at the moment because I also have to get some stuff done today. But basically, I hope you guys did enjoy, and don't forget, if you did enjoy this and you want to support the official creator, this book has over 100 chapters, almost 200 chapters. It's an amazing book. If you guys read it by yourself, it'll be a lot better than just watching me or listening to me. But as of right now, I'll go ahead and get you guys the link. And if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, and let me know what other books you would like me to read to the best of my ability. Until then, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.